Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Whistle. Coming to you once more, I'm Quinn McMahon, alongside my two friends and colleagues, Schaefer Jones and Dominic Maitino. Guys, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, Quinn. I'm excited to be back to deliver yet another episode of Beyond the Whistle.
Yeah, I feel the same, Schaefer, and I'm honored to be here for my first show. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So let's get into some NFL football.
All right.
We're moving on to Week 12, and the playoff race is heating up. Guys, what have you seen? Who's for real?
I think the Pats are for real. I think that Tom Brady is one of those outstanding quarterbacks. I mean, almost named greatest of all time by many others. And I would have to say that his persistence and his will to win is really what's going to push the Patriots in this
Absolutely.
one.
You know, going into the season, nobody really knew what we had in store going over the age of 40. Obviously, Tom Brady has showed us greatness in the past, but this never has really been done before. He now holds the record for most touchdown passes thrown by a QB over the age of 40. And he's playing incredible. You know, at that first game versus the Chiefs, we saw a little hesitation, you know, maybe some jitters or whatever. They just weren't in sync at that point, but now they've gotten on a roll. They're 9-2, only kind of rivaled by the Steelers there in the AFC. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
As good as the Patriots have been, I'm really liking the Philadelphia Eagles.
Absolutely.
I think Carson Wentz, his second year in the league, he's really getting comfortable. He is just an absolute gunslinger. He can run the ball well, amazing vision, and I really like the Eagles.
100%. And more in the first half of the season, we see him putting the team on his back, kind of carrying him more with more 300 passing yard games, stuff like that. But then with the addition of Jay Ajayi in that trade with Miami, it just takes some of the pressure off him, opens up the field a little bit more. They can make that offense a little bit more dynamic, and it takes the load off of him a little bit more. Now they're rolling their 10-1 best record in the NFL. They're incredible right now.
Yeah, and
I think that the Eagles just have that swag. I think they have that mentality that we are the best team in the league and we are going to roll you every single week. They come into the competition and they are just confident. And I think that is the scariest thing for a team to have. If you are performing well, and if you know you're playing well, that is just scary. I would not want to be playing the Eagles right now.
Yeah, because you don't know how it's going to continue on into the postseason. Right now they have that confidence, like you said, and that can be a curse and a blessing. You know, if you have the confidence, you go out there, you say you're going to win, and then they are. They're playing excellent right now. But going into the postseason, it's going to be interesting to watch Carson Wentz, as he's still a young QB in this league, to see how he carries on and, you know, continues his leadership going forward.
Speaking of young QBs, a big surprise this year has been the Los Angeles Rams, sitting at 8-3, first-year head coach in Sean McVay, and Jared Goff, his second year in the league, didn't get many starts last year, but he's proven that he deserved to be a #1 pick.
Absolutely. You know, last year he had to switch things up with Case Keenum. They were switching back and forth, weren't playing well at all. It was kind of crazy, and a lot of people were thinking maybe this kid isn't for real. The Rams kind of squandered a pick, but going into the second season, he's really matured, playing a lot better football right now. And, you know, it's not like he's doing this all by himself. That defense is excellent, especially up front with Aaron Donald. They're shutting things down in the run game, and that pass rush is absolutely incredible. Don, what do you think?
I think, speaking of Case Keenum, I mean, you have to also look at the Vikings. They are really hot right now. Last year they failed to make the playoffs, but this year he's tearing it up there, and the defense is amazing. I think they could be a potential playoff runner.
Yeah, before his injury, Sam Bradford was carrying this team, playing great, too. Sam Bradford is known for being very careful, but he started to open things up, get the ball down to his, kind of his weapons, Stephon Diggs and stuff like that. And now with the transition to Case Keenum, they also have that fantastic tandem in the backfield, Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray. It's just, they're absolutely opening up the field 100%, and they're on a roll now. I think they could go into the postseason. As far as Super Bowl is concerned, I'm not sure if they're at that point yet, just because of the quarterback level, but you know, I think they could make some sort of run into the postseason.
And possibly the biggest surprise from last year to this year has to be the New Orleans Saints. They finished 7-9 last year. Now they're sitting at 8-3. They just lost to the Rams, but they had won a lot of games straight before that. And Drew Brees is just proving that he is an elite quarterback, and I think he's going to lead the Saints. I think they're going to make a run. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl, but I see them making a run. Definitely.
Yeah, because it's a different Saints team than we usually see.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to seeing Drew Brees throw for 5,000 yards, putting points up on the board, and over the years, that just isn't enough anymore. You know, teams have gotten used to that. They started to shut them down. As we saw last year, they finished in one of the lowest levels of the league. But this year, they can open it up with the running game. A lot of teams have been doing that. You got that tandem of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, and they are just absolutely on fire. Kamara in his rookie year has been excellent, and he's really turned things on going in towards the second half.
Speaking of Drew Brees, MVP picks. Who do you guys have? We're getting close. Obviously, we're not going to know for a while, but I mean, we can start to get an idea of who's up there in the race and who's not. What do you guys see?
As much as I'd love to say Wentz for argument's sake, I'm going to go with Brees. Like I said, he's not the normal one we're used to seeing. He actually has just turned things on this season, being a little bit more careful. He leads the league in completion percentage, and he's being a lot smarter with the ball and playing some good football right now.
Speaking of Wentz, I got Wentz. 2,657 yards for 28 TDs, leads the league in TDs, and he is just leading this Eagles team to the best record in the NFL. I really like Carson Wentz, and I think that he can hold on to get this.
I gotta say, Brady, boys, I think he has 3,374 yards. Amazing milestone and 26 touchdowns this season.
40 years old. That's
exactly, 40 years old. And we saw what he did in the Super Bowl last year, and we know what he's capable of, so I'm going to have to go with Brady.
All right, let's move into some hockey. We are about a month into the season, and we're starting to get an idea of who's going to be a contender this year, who's probably not going to be a contender. One thing I've seen is the St. Louis Blues are absolutely rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, Quinn. Like you said, Vladimir Tarasenko is leading that team with 22 points overall. He's absolutely turning things on offensively. Also, on the defensive side, you got Jake Allen with a .922 save percentage. So when you got that kind of fire and ice combination between offense and defense, you can really shut things down, not letting your opponent score a lot of goals while turning things on the offensive side. They're playing some good hockey right now.
Dom, how about the Golden Knights, expansion team? No, nobody has high hopes for an expansion team. Like normally, it's going to take them some time to get in there, get some draft picks, sign some free agents.
The Browns not doing well at
all. so Dom, the Golden Knights started hot, and although they're not as hot as they started, they're still doing pretty well. Dom, what have you seen?
Well, yeah, they definitely are doing well right now. Something you have to notice is James Neal's hot right now with 19 points, and right now Marc-Andre Fleury, he's out, and they played with a fifth-string goalie.
Yeah, going through 4 goalies. It's incredible.
Exactly. So I definitely think I have high hopes and aspirations for this team. And as an expansion team, they're doing very well right now. And I think they just got to get comfortable. And once Fleury comes back, I think they'll be fine.
I think that the absolute best team in the league right now has to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are getting carried by the line of Tyler Johnson, Nikita Kucherov, and Steven Stamkos. Stamkos leads the NHL in points with 36, and Kucherov leads the NHL in goals with 17. That trio on the ice, if they're on the ice, they're gonna create offense, and they're probably gonna score a goal. That's why I think this Tampa Bay Lightning team is gonna make a run. I think they're gonna be the Stanley Cup champions. Guys, what do you see? Early picks. Obviously, we can't tell so far yet, but who do you see taking it all?
You know, Quinn, like you said, it's like only a month into the season, and I have never been the biggest hockey guy, but I am a fan of the Blues. I think, like I said, with that combination of that fire and ice on offense and defense, I think they could definitely make a run for it.
Dom, what do you see?
I see the Predators because Ryan right now has a 92% save percentage thus far.
Yeah.
And
he's just beast.
And they're 11-3 on 11-3 on the season, so I think they're going to do great.
One team that started pretty slow, they're not my pick, but they started slow, and they're picking it up at the New York Rangers. The Rangers are a team that everybody expects good things out of. They're a New York big franchise, sell at the Garden every game, and people just expect them to do well. They have been unstoppable at Madison Square Garden this season. They lost last night to stop the 8-game home winning streak, but Mika Zibanejad proving he's a first-line center with 22 points. Henrik Lundqvist has been a key part of this run as he's posting a .918 save percentage. I really like the Rangers. I think they're going to bounce back.
Absolutely. Like you said, in that home territory, when they're in New York, they're on fire. They absolutely lock things down. Away, it's a little bit of a different story, but when you have that kind of home field advantage or home ice advantage with the crowd, it's just incredible what teams can do.
So let's move on to the NBA. Guys, what have you seen so far in the National Basketball Association?
Cavaliers are tearing it up. They're trying to show, LeBron James is trying to show that they belong. I think he's still a little angry at Kyrie, so he's really trying to get up there. One thing we noticed is Derrick Rose really questioning his career right now. Is he going to walk away? Is Hall of Fame still in the question? I mean, you have to remember in 2011 when he was on the Bull, he was named MVP. I mean,
he was
rookie, he was amazing.
Before those knee injuries, Derrick Rose was proving to everyone that he was going to be one of, if not the best players in the league.
Absolutely.
It's a sad story, obviously, with those injuries. I feel for Derrick Rose. I wish him the best of luck as he walks away from the Cavaliers right now. Figure out his life. Figure out what he wants to do with basketball. I'm a big fan of Derrick Rose, and I hope he gets back on track.
Another team that I've been surprised with this year so far is the Knicks. You know, you love to say it because every year people get excited and then are disappointed halfway through the season. But, you know, with both Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony stepping away, we see this massive improvement by them. They're playing great right now. Quinn, who was it for you, though, that was making the big difference? Was it Carmelo Anthony or Phil Jackson that was really the biggest detriment to this team?
You know what? I'm gonna say Phil Jackson.
I agree, absolutely.
Carmelo Anthony, obviously, he was a ball hog, but he's a fantastic player.
You needed to be in that offensive team.
You can't blame Melo. He's a very, very good basketball player, and I just don't think it's fair to blame a talented player for the losses of a bad team.
100%.
I think you can blame Phil Jackson, however, because
the
triangle offense was not a good offense for the Knicks, and day in and day out, it proved that it was not going to work.
100%.
And he kept trying to do it.
Yeah, he would have rather lost with the triangle than try something else and try to win.
He didn't want to admit he was wrong. Hell of a coach. Phil Jackson was an amazing coach, but as a GM, he just wasn't doing it for me, and I'm glad the Knicks got him out of there.
Also, it's similar in any sport. As the game develops and evolves, teams become smarter, they see different things, and just the triangle offense was something that didn't work in this league anymore. Back in the day, when you have Kobe or Shaq or something like that, you can work it out. That was when you really saw that triangle come to life. But nowadays, it's really not working. You had to switch things up, which he just wasn't ready to do.
Now, boys, speaking of teams on fire, the Celtics, 18-4 this season. Jaylen Brown really stepping it up, about 15.8 points per game. And then we have Kyrie, who's just toying with his defenders. What do you guys think about the Celtics this season?
You know what? That first game against the Cavaliers when Gordon Hayward went down, I could just feel it. The whole world counted out the Celtics,
Absolutely.
And I think they were wrong to do that. Kyrie Irving is the clutchest player in the NBA. Proved that with a shot against the Warriors in the 2016 finals. And if the Celtics can keep this up, they're going to help from guys like Bynes, Kyrie's and going off, Jason Tatum, the rookie. I really like the Celtics. And that's getting into my next point. Do you guys think that we're just looking at another year of Warriors versus Cavs, or there's teams like the Rockets, the Celtics, the Spurs that can take over?
You know, Quinn, I don't know if it's as severe as it was last year with just absolutely super teams, kind of dominating the league. I think it's getting better with the movement of some players. I like the move of Kyrie to the Celtics. I do think, however, it still will be a little dominant, kind of with the Warriors and that side of things in the West. But, I think the league's moving towards something better. Change is coming. A lot of people are getting upset with kind of the way things are. So I'm going to be interested to kind of closely watch the NBA in the years to come.
I really like Houston in the West. They are the 1 seed right now. It's weird for the Warriors not to be the 1 seed in the West. We haven't seen that in, 4 years? But James Harden, I think he's going to be the MVP. He's on fire. Just Chris Paul, James Harden, they are absolutely rolling right now, and I think they're going to keep it up. I don't know if they're going to make it to the finals. I think the Warriors are still going to beat them in the playoffs. But I really like the Rockets, and I think they're going to challenge them. Yeah,
as you brought up there, why don't we talk about our MVP picks? So you got Harden. Like I said, I like to take the contrarian kind of point of view, so I'll go Kristaps. He's averaging 27 points per game, over 7 rebounds. He's really leading this Knicks team, developing, still a young player in the league, but he's been here for a couple years, and I think he's really developing as a player, and I think he's going places, so I think he could end up being the league MVP.
Dom, what have you seen?
I got to say it's LeBron, boys, 29.8 points per game and averaging 8 assists. He's a fantastic player, and he's showing us why he's one of the greatest in the league, and he's bringing the Cavs back.
All right, almost out of time here. Let's just bring up one more topic, the Heisman race in college football. What have you guys seen? Who do you like?
Although a lot of people are big fans of Baker Mayfield, I'm just not a huge fan of his antics. Like we said, he's grabbing his crotch, going across the field, saying expletives. Really not a big fan of that. To be a quarterback, you have to be a leader. You have to put your team before yourself and your own personal feelings, and I just don't think he has it. So for me, it's Bryce Love. Playing through injuries in the past 6 weeks against Notre Dame, he put up 125 yards, still with that high ankle sprain that he's been dealing with. It's incredible what that kid can do, even with dealing with a myriad of injuries. As
inappropriate as Baker Mayfield's action have been off the field, I just still think you can't deny him of the Heisman. He's been the best player in college football this year with 3,816 passing yards, 34 TDs, leading the college football quarterbacks. I just think he's too good to deny him. But with that said, I also like Lamar Jackson. The Louisville, they're not that good, they're not a strong.
Yeah, he
they're
doesn't
not a
have the
strong
weapons around him
school.
he needs to kind of
But
show him off.
I mean, he carries them week in and week out. They don't get a lot of wins, but when they do win, it's because of Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to agree with Quinn there. That's why Lamar Jackson has to be my pick, is because he carries that team unlike any other. You know, Baker Mayfield, he has a stacked offense around him to work with. And, you know, Lamar Jackson, he has to push Louisville day in and day out to get those wins.
Well, everybody, it has been fun. Thank you for staying with us for this edition of Beyond the Whistle, and we will see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Quinn, for having us.
Yeah, no problem, guys. See you guys.